Hi, I'm Susanna Bowling, and this is live from Times Square. This is a special edition because I have this amazing friend who is being shown at Coachella right now. He's also got his art going to the moon. He has started a brand new kind of art gallery called Articom. He has a prolific career that starts at age 15 when he took pictures at Woodstock that are iconic. We're talking Roger Sichel.
Thank you so much for having me on your podcast. It's just a wonderful experience being here in this wonderful space that you're interviewing me in at the Lambs. And so to get to the question, how did I start in art? It's really a long story because when I was a kid, I loved photography, I loved music, and I loved art. Probably more so music and photography than art at that time. And it's just a little side story. When I was maybe in grammar school, and I'm going back to maybe the second grade, Susanna, and it looked to me there were 1,000 kids in this giant auditorium, in a public school. And so they went and said, everybody, I want you to sing this. And they're going around section by section by section. No, not this section, not this section, not this section. Finally, 20 sections later, they said, you're out of tune. So, devastating. I loved music even more then. And but I could never sing, never be in a rock band, and it was devastating.
Well, how did you get to Woodstock?
That's an interesting question again. I got there, so let's fast forward a couple of years. So I was into music, photography, and writing. And so I went up to all the magazines, and I was in New York City at that time, every magazine that you could think of. And then one magazine, and I don't think it's around now, it's called Rock Magazine. And they said, kid, we'd love you to go there and represent us. I mean, you actually could get through, everybody then. You could actually get in, in speaking to people. And they said, but here's the caveat. We want you to take the best damn photos we've ever seen. And maybe we'll let you write a few words. And I came back with the best damn pictures that they've ever seen. So
what was it like to be so young and be surrounded by that kind of music and that kind of fame, actually?
Well, that was the start. It was really terrific, to be like really young and meeting, Janis Joplin or Jimi Hendrix or folks like that. It's an incredible feeling. You really don't realize it too many years later that, hey, man, you actually met this person, you hung out with them, you spoke to them, and it's a fabulous feeling.
Now, you had a picture from that time that became ultra famous.
Yeah.
Did it start out being famous? The Lovers.
Oh, The Lovers? No, that never started out. I mean, I wish I had a copy here to show you,
Don't worry, I'll
the
put it
world, But no, nobody, actually people were more interested in the Janis Joplins or the Joe Walshes, all the bands of the time. So that picture became iconic for a different reason, and it became iconic probably many years later because it was a movement. That represented a movement sort of like, in Times Square after the war, after World War II, and they had the Navy guy and the person, and they were in Times Square. And they gave that's a classic thing. And
massive.
That massive, and this sort of represents the free love hippie movement, but it also changed the way the world looked at everybody. It started a whole new movement that still goes on to this day.
Now, your careers have been incredibly eclectic.
Yeah, they have. Thank you.
So we're going to start with something you probably don't think I'm going to ask, but you helped create something.
Oh, well, it depends on what you're thinking.
With the computers.
Oh, with technology.
Yeah.
Well, a little fast forward. Can I do another side story? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
So what happened? So in between, doing writing and photography, and I pretty much met a lot of people, in rock and roll, if you like rock and roll history. So in between that, because you're in the music business, and the music business is sort of like, at that time, it's sort of like you're burning yourself out, and if you stay in what I was doing too long, you get up late and you go to sleep by the time you
And
wake
sex,
up.
drugs, and rock and roll is your motto.
Exactly.
But you found another way to do that. We're going to get into that.
So what happened the technology, and now we're going to go, so I had to drop out of music because I was going to kill myself, actually,
Right.
because it's a short life, a lot of fun, as you're saying, sex, drugs, rock and roll, and there's much more.
Right.
So to go to the technology, many, many years later, after I'm out of all this and I'm trying to, straighten my life out, I got involved in technology.
Wait, is this before or after the Erotic Film Festival?
Oh, much after.
Then
much
wait,
after.
well, then wait, we're going to put
Yeah,
that
yeah.
on pause. How did you get involved in the Erotic Film Festival?
Funny you,
Funny, I would ask.
Susanna said that. When you're a young guy or a young girl and you're part of the free love movement and rock and roll and all that stuff, and so I say, what's a cool thing to do? And I said, hey, look, I like, the idea of eroticism, which is, and sex is part of eroticism, and I hate the term pornography.
Right.
So you're sort of like, you have different steps in your life. I said, my mission is like, if something came down to me and said, erotic is a good thing for everybody. So.
But talk about who was on this with you.
Well, so the folks that I was involved with, like we put together some art, and the folks I got, and this story goes on. So I reached out to Pablo Picasso.
Oh, wow, that one
Yeah.
I don't remember, but yeah, okay.
So I reached out to Pablo Picasso. He said, absolutely, I want to submit something. And he was overseas. We're talking about 1971 at this time. We reached out to Salvador Dali. He's literally lived in New York in one of the hotels. I'm not going to mention the hotel, but he was right
It
here.
was the Chelsea, right?
No, he actually was uptown at the St. Regis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he was right here. So we would send somebody.
Actually, that's pretty funny.
Well, the Chelsea has a wonderful story.
Oh, I know.
Everybody lived there. So they got involved, as did a lot of other artists, and we ended up taking a guy named Robert Raffaelli, and we used a photograph. But everybody was involved
You're
in New York.
missing the other people.
So then we get to the film festival, and I had to put together a group of judges. I mean, who would ever want to get involved in eroticism in New York in the 1970s?
At that time, everyone.
So, and that's so I see Andy Warhol at an event, and I go, Andy, hey, do you want to be a judge in the Erotic Film Festival? It's sort of like saying, absolutely.
It's like going candy.
Right. Everybody wants it. Is there a party?
But who else?
So we had Andy Warhol. We had, and one of my favorite writers of all time, Gore Vidal. We had Gore Vidal. We had, at that time, a director, Milos Forman. We had Alex Bennett. We had Karen Sperling.
Who's Karen Sperling?
She was right there with it as an actress. We had Sylvia Miles, who was an actress.
That does not surprise me.
Sylvia Miles was wild, and then I don't know how to explain. We had Betty Dodson, who was a vaginal artist, and what? Can I go into details on the?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Oh, what she did molds of vaginas, and she displayed them literally all over the world. And
No, I have another friend
yeah.
actually that did paintings of them. And
Yeah.
they were all over the place.
Yeah, it
She
just
made them like flowers. They were very cool.
Yeah,
Actually.
absolutely. It's really the start. Actually, I also worked at one time at Grove Press during the time of I Am Curious Yellow, and when the women's movement started, they started everybody. This is on downtown in the village, and all of them said, "We're taking off our bras, and this is it." And that was Bonnie Rossett, who did Grove Press. But
Yeah,
anyhow,
let's
so-
get back to the Erotic Film
Okay.
Festival, because where did it play?
Well, it played on Broadway.
which I think is hysterically funny.
It played on, but not in the like what you call the bad theaters, the ones where they showed the porn.
Right.
It played really on Broadway in lights at the AG 1 and 2. It played at the Cinema East. It played and also at the, I think the Village Theater, which is like
Vanguard?
the one really right off of Fifth Avenue. We
Yeah,
played at
right.
all very high-end places. And actually, we really cut a lot of stuff there. We really broke ground there. And of course, as you know, also it made Variety's top 100 list.
Did it
in
really?
sales, yeah.
The very
Yeah,
first
yeah.
thing I did when I came here, actually, I did two things. I had a friend who was in the musical Let My People Come, so I went to
Oh,
go
I
see
love it.
her.
Yeah.
And then I went to a porn theater because I was dying to go. And I went and saw, trying to think of what the one that was really, really big.
Debbie Does Dallas, Jerry
No.
Debbie.
No, this was like
Yeah.
one of the first ones. But what a
Yeah.
bore. Seriously, what a bore. And everything
Yep.
was sticky, and I was like, ooh.
Very stick. Yeah, it was very. We tried to clean that up in what we did, but okay. So then, just going back to the Erotic Film Festival, obviously the police didn't like it. The city didn't like it. It was making lots of money. It was
Of
doing
course.
really well, and so we got busted, and they wanted to close it down. But we were doing art. We weren't doing porn. In
Right.
other words, to us, we would do something of, peeling a banana.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
so that was it. So it was like art, and it also had, the other stuff which was, but that you see in the movies. But it was erotic. It was
So
very
how long
sensual.
did that last?
It was a film festival. So
I
that
know.
lasted about 2 weeks.
No, how many seasons?
Oh, it lasted. It lasted 2 seasons. Yeah, I got bored out of it. Actually,
Ooh, you got bought out.
what? Yeah.
By who?
We got bought out by some people who said, "Hey, look, we love what you're doing, and we'd like to buy you out." And I said, "Okay." Yeah.
You're not going to mention who bought you out.
No, I don't think. But I will say that I got to be.
Would I be intrigued with who it is?
You could write a book about it.
Okay.
But
I am curious yellow.
I got you're a curious red. But
No.
so New Line Cinema at that time was just getting started, and Bob Shea came over, and they distributed it. They wanted to do it on college campuses.
Wait, they wanted to do the Erotic Film Festival on college?
They wanted it distributed to the college circuit.
Oh, my
And they did at the same time. So it's real silly as it sounds. They, I got signed up by one of those tours where you could just, lecture, you go around. And so they would bring me around lecturing at a lot of the colleges, and they tie me up with politicians, whether they're running for. Actually, somebody was running for president at the time against Nixon.
Really?
They had me speak in front of them, so they'd have a big rah-rah crowd, all psyched to see them, and they'd hang, so that
My-
sort of stuff. It's
My
really
dad
cool.
was a big fan of Nixon, and I frickin' hated Nixon.
Oh.
And so I used to be in the car, and I learned how to imitate him.
Oh,
And
can
I would say stuff, and my dad,
Yeah.
no, my dad actually threw me out on a highway once.
Are you kidding?
No.
The Republican Party about that was he was a little tricky, would you say?
It was worse than that. I was actually at the camp of where he lived, and
were you?
I
Yeah.
actually was at the inaugural ball,
Really? Well,
and I did not want to be there.
this is which is very. They called me up, the Republican Party, because of my involvement in
Right.
the arts and being a little futuristic. They said, "Hey, can you disrupt the Democratic convention in Miami?"
And you're like, why?
Right, exactly. And by the way, here's this. I
Yeah.
can't quote exactly
People
what they said.
people think that you can be bought. They just
Yeah.
there are people that can't, and we're both Aquarian,
Yeah.
so there's no way there we can be bought.
No, we're just no way. Yeah.
We're our
But-
own people.
But somebody did do it, and they did disrupt it. And if you look in your history books and you check if they don't, or you Google it, you'll see that it actually happened. A boat did it off of the convention.
And you heard it here. Now go in. Okay, now you've gone from that.
Yeah.
Talk about what you did, what you created in technology.
Well, that you don't want to hear about rock and roll? Okay.
No, I want to hear about this.
Okay. So in technology, and so anyway, again, on my cleanup phase of, of trying to,
That's why we went. That's why we detoured, because when you said cleanup, I'm like, no, I think it was this.
So I went into technology, and I had a history in technology of working for all the large companies throughout the city, the state, and the United States, doing technology, and then I was fortunate enough to sell that, and then I'm walking into to a casino, I have to say, and I get this phone call from Vancouver, and they say, "Hey, do you want to head our company? We're creating intelligent input." And now we're talking, this is back about 2010, we're talking artificial intelligence. Okay, so.
Does this include holographs?
This does not include holograms. This is just regular AI.
Oh, okay.
And the technology is that we were able to think like humans. And we put something together which was artificially intelligent, and it ends up that I was the guy I had a lot of stock, but I ended up licensing it to a consortium, and everybody's going to say, "What is a consortium?" Here we are talking about arts, photography, and technology. So So we licensed it to the consortium consisting from IBM to every big company out there, the 100 largest companies in technology.
Wait, so they bonded together?
Well, they have it. It's there now. It's this consortium of all the large companies.
Ooh, that's scary.
Hey, world, beware.
That's scary.
Beware, world. They know, they watch, they share. And so what it was actually a tool which really I wanted to help the world, and we wanted to help the world. And what it did, it created a shortcut. And don't hate me for saying this, world, but in today's terminology, it's called autocorrect. And for those of you who don't know what autocorrect is, you make a mistake when you send a text or you write something. We're the guys that actually straighten it out. And if we get it wrong every once in a while, we say it in a foreign language to you, it happens.
No, that's what I wanted you to get into, because I just find that fascinating.
It was, and it caught on, and literally till this day, it hasn't been knocked off. And billions and billions of uses a day, every day till right now.
So wait, did you have anything to do with Dragon?
No. I'm
like
sorry.
Dragon.
We didn't,
I like it does the work for me.
Well, yeah, but that's what technology is. Usually, and if you want to speak tech, on most tech, like let's say just on the one that I did, or possibly Dragon, they're using 1/100th of what it actually can do.
I know.
They're really powerful. We actually could write sentences and write words. Now, AI of today, you go, okay, I'm not going to. You go to Google or ChatGPT. Say, hey, look, I'm thinking about, and can you write this story for me? Because hey, look, I just did this, and I have to get this in, and it gives you 5 versions.
No, I've learned that if you tell it to write it in a certain voice, if you're nice to it and thank it and are grateful to it, it changes its attitude.
Yes.
I've learned to be nice to my ChatGPT.
Susanna, can I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
What do you feed it?
Fingers. Nice, comforting touches.
Right.
But seriously, I'll thank it. I'll tell it I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
And then it's really nice to me, and it does exactly what I want. Before, because I use it for unlocking the keys to healing sometimes when I want to write something, but it's like general knowledge, but I wanted to say it in a different way. And at first, everything that I wrote about, it was skeptical. And I was like, what the hell is your problem? And then I asked it to do it in a spiritual, loving voice. And I found different ways to do it. And now it only writes in those voices.
See, I think, and this is, you take this as futurists, as Aquarians, you go step a little bit further. It's smarter than we are.
Oh, yeah.
It's going, beware.
And faster than we are.
Absolutely.
And it doesn't need sleep.
Right.
I mean, I need sleep these days.
Sure.
Let's talk about Articom.
Okay.
And what Articom is. Is it going to go to the Hamptons this year?
Okay, Articom is an artistic experience. And what we did last year with it, we were sponsored very nicely by the Southampton Cultural Society. Southampton is a summer community at the end of Long Island, and everybody from around the globe. It's a playground like
Right.
like other like Palm Beach or Cannes, whatever.
Right.
And so we did an experiment. They sponsored. I said, look, what I want to do is bring the arts in, but I want to bring all the arts in. So I want to have masters, from Renoir on down to emerging artists, because that's what we do. But not only do I want that, I want to have performance art. I want to have music. We want to have virtual reality. We want to have goggles on you. And,
For the whole thing?
well, no, if you want to, what we had set up, we had stations where you could put the goggles in. So let's say you're doing VR. So, Susanna, you could put the goggle set on your head. If you don't know how to use it, we'd show you. Then you could step out and see the art through the goggles or wander around with them on. And what you saw, you could show either to yourself, everybody in the space who had goggles on,
Oh, wow.
or we could transmit it around the world.
Oh, wow.
So that was one of the experiences. What we didn't have time to do, and we had a theater with us, but
I remember.
But we didn't have time to do holograms, and we wanted to do holograms.
I
which are
love
being done now.
holograms.
We were going to blow them up so you'd have dinosaurs walking
Wait,
around.
have you seen the one that's from China where the dragon flies out and then
I'm so
Love
jealous,
that.
So this so
or the gym where the whale in the ocean?
yeah.
Love that.
So holograms are really cool. Technology is really cool. What we can do on walls and spaces. The future really is in what we're doing with Articom, but it's going to be on everybody's walls, where you can actually do your own hologram shows, and I can actually take them. You can buy a piece of equipment really inexpensively, and we can project. You could project.
Really?
Yeah. It's all.
Wait. Could you do? I know that they have 3D printing.
Absolutely.
Could I do a hologram from a 3D printing thing and make it work like it would if it was real?
I love it.
I'm thinking the Orozone thing that I'm dying to build.
Yeah. I think with 3D printing you probably could do anything. Could you do it dimensionally? Could you build it on? You could do it on a hologram just on your computer, but to print
But
it
would
out.
it have the same effects? Like the Orozone that I want to create
Yeah.
has sungolite and tourmaline and copper.
I love it. No,
It's a conductor. So could you do this?
I can't wait to see it. I have to get back to you on
You
this.
know I'm
but-
planning on doing this,
Oh,
so I'm like,
I know that this is so spiritual and so special.
well, because there's a guy named Wilhelm Reich who
Yes.
created Orozones, and he healed people from cancer and from other diseases. And my guess is what he did is he took the Orozones and cut them in half so that, and hang the top so that the people could go inside. I think that's how it
Yeah,
happened.
it's the box.
Yeah.
Could
But
you
I-
explain? I'm a little confused. Could you explain that?
What
it
an
is?
Orozone is?
Yeah.
Oh, what an Orozone does is it conducts in the body, and this was so powerful. He wasn't part of the Nazis, but he was during the Nazi regime, and he ended up being thrown in jail. He died in jail. His scientific work was confiscated, and it's just been released. And with all the 5G technology hurting us, and with things that are happening, I mean, look at what's going on in the colleges with cancer and the different things that are hurting. I'm thinking that if you could build an Orozone with red light therapy in it, and also 5.8 something megahertz music in it, you could actually heal people, and this could be what people are saying is the med bed.
This could be fabulous.
And I'm dying to make it.
I think you're on the right track, and I think it could be done. And I don't, and you know,
But the problem is I'm not arts and crafts. I mean,
Well-
arts and me, I like it, but
Well-
me making it, not the best.
But see, the beauty of art now, all you need, if you need the concept, we could talk about this after.
I want to make
yeah,
this, as
yeah.
you well know.
I
I'm
know.
obsessed with this.
Well, you got to do it. You don't have choice. It's a mission.
I know.
You know, this is important. This
But
is
God has to
important
give me
stuff.
some time so I can get some sleep in first.
Absolutely. Well, I have to say, it's wild. Again, just meeting you and all the stuff that you do. I mean, kudos
Well,
to you.
we're like siblings from another mother.
I think so. Yeah.
From day
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
Ashley spilling her coffee on you.
Oh, that's yeah. What a story. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
What are you doing this summer? What's next for you?
What's the,
I know the moon, and I
Well-
know Coachella's going on now.
Well, right now I'm at Coachella, and they're displaying my art on a private estate with the other artists. Everybody, the people who've gone to the moon are Jeff Koons and about 250 other artists.
But you're part of that.
And music, yeah. And just an extremely interesting group of eclectic stuff. Hendrix is there, Well,
Oh, cool.
So you have, a lot of stuff there. And the art is not specifically there, but it's on metal plates, and it's going to be there probably for 1 billion years.
So you guys are the first litter of the moon.
Pretty much. Hey, I'm planning Mars now. And I think you've seen them. I want to put a few
I
cats
do.
there.
You all can. You all.
Yeah.
Can, oh yes, the Mars cats.
Yeah.
You all
Yeah.
can go to the moon
Yeah.
and Mars, not me. I'm staying put.
Yeah.
What are you doing this summer? Do you have art shows and things planned?
Well, this summer, what I'm trying to do, and actually I had calls today, and hopefully tonight I might even have some meetings. I'm trying to put together Articom on a large scale. In other words, I want to do the futuristic art and how it's going to look. So when you walk in, you might see the house of the future and the immersive walls of the future, and the screens of the future, and the holograms which you're going to create in your mind and you're going to show.
Love that idea.
So we're going to do that, and all the masters and all the emerging artists, but with the performance art, with the theater art, with the music, with the fashion, we want to create the next generation.
Wait, why don't you use right now to basically do a plug for what you're looking for?
Well, what I'm looking for two things now, because I actually can't afford it. It's a big spend, So what I'm looking for to help create Articom is really a wonderful developer in New York who has space like an old Bed Bath & Beyond or a big space like that, so we can take it and put the theaters in and put the projections in and put everything. So we're looking for space right now. And the other thing is we want to get it funded. Now we have some funding and we have choices for space, but the spaces that we've been offered are not big enough or they're not geographically located. But we want to bring folks from every generation. So we want to bring from the boomers to the X's to the Y's and the Z's. We want everybody.
Wait, you're only starting with boomers? Is there somebody before that?
The greatest generation. I don't, like.
No, because they started calling generations things, and I'm like, what is this?
Actually the art really generations. It's what's in your mind. So if you think you haven't changed, you haven't. And it's just especially Aquarians. They're really.
Well, I never thought I was here to begin with. So.
Yeah. So, but
I'm on the wrong planet.
So actually, you're needed here so badly, more now than ever, because. And knowing Susanna Bowling as I do for for a very long time, is that she's not afraid to say it as it is.
No, I'm not.
And in journalism, that's tough. And if I remember, folks have come up saying, "Hey, Susanna, I love what you do. You're in the right space. Can we share in what you do? Can we take you over?" And Susanna goes, do I have to give up my independence? I don't think so.
Exactly.
So you're a tough cookie
No,
in
it's
this world.
not that. It's
Yeah.
that I think that as a human race, we need to stand up for things that are right.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm writing right now about my friend's divorce case in Queens because it's part of a bigger picture. The court system is corrupt, and when our laws work against us and they're for the criminal and not for the victim, I tend to think network said it best. I'm mad as hell and I'm not taking it anymore.
Absolutely.
And I don't look
Absolutely.
at this life as the be all end all. Honestly, you want to kill me? Good luck. Try. Things and people have tried this.
Yeah, well, you're
and I'm
tough.
still here.
Yeah. No, you write it as it is, and you call it out the way, you know.
try.
You know, I mean, but you're just, you know, to me, I mean, speaking about those lines, you know,
Right.
I mean, I'm totally opinionated world, you know. So, but you know,
But you know, what's your favorite quality about yourself?
telling it like it is in generosity and inclusiveness. So it's just a few, because I want to be inclusive and encourage the future to be a better place and to help artists come up the ladder. And it's up for us, you know, yourself and myself and others like us, to really mentor the young people and create a forum for them to do what they want to do, not be afraid to say what they want to say and follow a path. And yeah, is everybody successful? No, but if you don't try, you know, you're missing a big chunk of your life.
Well, see,
Yeah.
the one quality about myself that I like is that I do a lot of research on everything that I write. But if somebody can come up to me and show me that I'm wrong and why I'm wrong, which is why I love Magda Katz, I'm more than willing to change my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem admitting that I was wrong.
Yeah, I think that's fabulous. That's a very hard thing to do. It's a very good trait.
I agree.
You know. Yeah.
So this has been Live with Times Square. I'm Susanna Bowling, Roger Sichel, and our fabulous videographer, Magda Katz. Thank you, and we'll see you soon.